Hello everyone, welcome to Raaonline. Today we will discuss in crash the summary of the locomotion and movement in the form of the questions, right? As we know that locomotion and movement, that is locomotion, that means when we change our place from one place, if we go one place to another place, then it is locomotion, right? With the help of the muscles and the bones, locomotion is possible, right? And the movement, that is in just one place, just we change our positions like that, right? That is called the movement. As you know that in that diagram, the movement, that is joints are also responsible for that, the movement and the pivot for movement, right? These joints, the bones which acts as a levers, right? The nerves which coordinates and stimulates the muscle contraction, right? The muscles which apply the efforts or the force, tendons which connects the muscle to the bone, or we can say, the better can say, when the bones connected with the skeletal muscles, right? That is called the tendons, and they are the type of the connective tissues, and the ligaments which connects bone to bones, right? So all these together make a system which helps in the locomotion and the movement. Now come to the first question. What is the function of the cilia in paramecium, right? Actually in NCERT it is given in page number 302. We know that paramecium belongs to phylum Protozoa, right? It belongs to phylum Protozoa, and its locomotion, actually it helps, it moves for the food through the cytopharynx, right? And second one, it that is also responsible for the locomotion. The function of, when we talk about the paramecium, that is sleeper animalcule, right? Like that, its a structure is something like that. Sleeper animalcule, right? And what, the cilia is also present here, right? Which helps in the locomotion as well as for the movement of the food through the cytopharynx. So the correct answer is C, right? It is given in NCERT. This is the exact line of NCERT which is given in page number 302 in first paragraph, right? Now come to the next question. Select the correct option. Select the correct options. First one is, all movements are the locomotions. Second, all locomotions are the movement. Third, all movements are not the locomotions, or both, that B and C, right? So what do you think? What is the answer exactly? Actually, all types of movements are locomotion. Is it correct? No. Right? All types of movements are not locomotion, but all types of locomotions are the movement, exactly, right? So the B is correct. All the movements are not the locomotion, that is also correct. So the correct answer is the B and C. It is the favorite most question of the AIMS also, right? In reason assertion part, that is asked many more times, right? So remember it, that information is given in page number 302 at NCERT, right? Come to the next one, that is, which movement is not exhibited by the cells of the human body? Which kind of movement we are not doing? That is amoeboid or ciliary, or amoeboid and muscular, or ciliary, or the none, right? So what do you think? What kind of movement is not occurs in the cell of the human body? Amoeboid and ciliary, amoeboid and muscular, ciliary. So there is none, right? Not exhibited. So the answer is none. Come to the next one. Match the following. Macrophages and leukocytes shows. This is the answer. Explanation is explanatory question of that answer, right? Why we say that the human body exhibits these kind of movements? Why? See there, right? Macrophages and the leukocytes, it shows the amoeboid movement, right? It shows the amoeboid movement. That means that even they can flow in the direction of the cytoplasm, right? So the macrophages, they are the phagocytic cells. Macrophages, they are the phagocytic cells, right? They are the phagocytic cells, and leukocytes, as we know that. So these macrophagic cells are the phagocytic cells, and when we talk about the macrophagic cells, so in case of the liver, these macrophagic cells are called the Kupffer cells, right? They are known as the Kupffer cells. In case of spleen, they are called the phagocytic cells, right? They are called the phagocytic cells, right? So there are number of macrophagic cells which are present in our body, in even in areolar tissue. The macrophagic cells, or the another cells, the histiocytes and the chromatocytes are also present, right? So all these. And second one, when we talk about the leukocytes, you know that the leukocytes, these leukocytes are the WBCs, right? These leukocytes are the WBCs, that is the white blood cells. Right? Leukocytes are the white blood cells which helps to make the immune system strong, right? It helps to maintain the immunity of our body. That is, we can say it takes participate in the defense mechanism of the body, right? Defense mechanism of the body. And as we know that they are of two types, that is granulocytes and agranulocytes, right? In these granulocytes there are three, that is neutrophil, eosinophil and the basophil. Same as that agranulocytes, monocytes and the lymphocytes, right? So all these cells shows the amoeboid movement. Next one is the movement of jaw, that is movement of jaw is the muscular movement, right? When we move our jaw, these muscles helps in the movement of that jaw, right? That's why in case of the tetanus, because it acts on the voluntary muscles, that Clostridium tetani attacks upon the voluntary muscles and release the tetanospasmin toxin, which inhibits the function of the voluntary muscles, right? So that's why they are locking, so we are not able to move the jaw at that time. That's why that condition is called the locked jaw or the trismus, right? So second one is the muscular movement, and the third one, that is movement of ova through the female reproductive tract, that is due to the ciliary movement, because ova is not able to move itself, right? Ova is not able to move itself, and due to the development of the cilia in whole fallopian tract, right, in whole that particular fallopian tube, the ova and the zygote both are transferred. Clear? So the answer is 1, 2, just only in one option, that is answer is C, right? Come to the next question. Which movement is supported by the microfilaments, right? It is given in page number NCERT 302, microfilaments, right? And these microfilaments shows the amoeboid movement. That microfilament shows the amoeboid movement. So answer is Bombay. Now come to the next one, that is coordination among us. Which one of the following system is required for the locomotion, right? As we know that for the locomotion, we need the muscle, we need the support of the bone, right? That is the skeletal muscle. So muscular, skeletal, both are correct. Skeletal and neural, obviously neuromuscular junction, because neuromuscular junction acts upon it, right? When something is pricking it at over your skin, right? Then what will happen? The motor neuron from your brain, right? From the spinal cord, these impulses come here, right? And what will happen? You just move your hand from that. If the impulses not comes here, then what will happen? You will not feel any kind of sensation, right? So you are not able to remove your effector organ, that is muscles or the glands, right? Clear? So muscles, so that is the coordination of the we can say the neuromuscular junction is responsible for that. So skeletal, muscular and neural, all threes are responsible for the locomotion, right? So skeletal and neural, correct. Muscular, neural, correct. So the answer is D. Answer is D, right? All the above. Clear? And it is given in NCERT page number 303. Clear? Now come to the next one. Which one of is not a major functional characteristic of the muscle, right? Muscle shows elasticity exactly, contractibility exactly, excitability also, right? But secretability, no. Clear? So exact line is given in page number 303 at 20.2 in the part of the muscular tissue, right? So the correct answer is the secretability, that is D, right? That is D, because not is here, so secretability is not the characteristic feature of the muscles, right? Now what will happen? The next one is the given figure is related with the myosin monomer. Now come to the next question, that is that 8th one. The given figure is related with the myosin monomer, right? That is the diagram of the myosin monomer, right? That is the diagram of the myosin monomer, which is called the meromyosin, right? Now what will happen? What asked in that question, that is identify the part labeled from A to C. That A1 A is head, that B is cross arm, right? And that C is the ATP binding site, right? That C is ATP binding site. So NCERT page number 306, right? That diagram is given, and the diagram number is 20.3, right? That comes under that particular heading, right? So now A and C option, so that B and D is cancelled, right? Then B is cross arm given in both, right? And C is the ATP binding site, and C is the ATP binding site, and in A it is called GTP, so it is wrong. And so the correct answer is the C, right? That is the structure. We have to learn it actually with their enumeration. Clear? Now the figure given here, that one, it shows three different conditions of the sarcomeres, right? What is sarcomere? That is, the sarcomere is the structural unit, right? It is the structural and functional unit of the muscular tissue actually, right? You can see here that sarcomere is made up of the filament system, that is the thicker, that is myosin, right? That sarcomere is made up of three types of filaments. The first one is the thicker myosin. Second is the thinner actin, and the third is nabulin and titin, right? These three types of filaments are present in the sarcomere. Actin filament is slide over the myosin filament at the time of the muscle contraction, or we can say in sliding filament theory, right? And that nabulin and titin gives a stability and the structure to a muscle, right? When we sit like that, right, for a long time to maintain that posture, when we sit like that, so that maintenance of the posture or the structure of that particular at that time for the muscles, that is related with the nabulin and titin, right? So that sarcomere is in that sarcomere three types of another two types of bands are there, right, which are arranged in the alternate bands form, right, which are arranged in the form of the alternate bands, right? The dark band and light band. Dark band that is A band, that is anisotropic band, right? Light band that is I band, which is called the isotropic band, right? And they are arranged in that form. So see here, that is the structure of sarcomere actually. Right? These thin filaments are actin filaments, which are attached from both sides on I band, right? They are attached like that on both sides of I band. Right? In between them, thick filament of myosin. That thick filament of myosin is there. right? Now, a Z line which bisect the I band right in two halves, that is called the Z line, or which is also known as the cross membrane, right? That is called the Z line, which is also known as the cross membrane. Clear? In A band, actin, myosin both are present, but in I band only actin filaments are present, right? One line bisect go through that area, right, between the A line, that is called the M line, which is known as the membranous line, right, which is known as the membranous line. So now this is called I band. Same here. Right? From here to here, that is A band. That portion of A band where the actin filaments are absent, right? That portion of A band where the actin filaments are absent, that is called the H zone. That is called the H zone, where only myosin filaments are there, right? Only myosin filaments are present. That is the line which bisect the I band, that is called the Z line, right? And at the time of contraction, that actin filament slides over the myosin filament, right? That actin filament slides over the myosin filament. There is no movement of the myosin thicker, clear? Only the movement of actin is there, clear? So this is the structure of sarcomere. Now, as you can see here, first structure in that particular portion, it shows what it shows, that is the sarcomere is in relaxed condition, right? These are the in relaxed condition, and what will happen, see here, that amount of H zone in second, the H zone is just like that, right? That means the distance between both actin filaments decrease, right? Same as that here. So what will happen, there is the contraction, right? Contracting phase is there, that's why that difference is in between them decreases, right? And not now what will happen in third one, it shows the maximum contraction, it shows the maximum contraction. So first one is in relaxed condition, second one is the contracting phase, and third one is the maximum contraction, right? So A option wrong, B relaxed contracting maximal is correct, maximal contract wrong, relax contract and contracting, this is also right, but the most appropriate answer is maximum contracted. You can see here, right? Because both actin filaments over each other, right? So that's why it is called the maximum contract. So D1 is also cancelled, so the answer is the Bombay, right? This is the diagram of the NCERT which is given in page number 308. Come to the next one. This is also the structure of sarcomere which will be studied here, right? Actually, this is the diagram of NCERT, what it shows. You can see here that A is shows, that is in which the actin and myosin both are present. So this A is A band, right? That's C. That's C. Come to the next, that is B, that is which bisect the I band, that is called the Z line. That D is, now after B, come to the C, right? That is that is the area where only myosin filament is present, that is the H zone. And that D is the I band, right, where only actin filaments are there. So now we can compare A, that is A band, that means answer is in between the A and B, so C and D wrong, option cancelled, right? B is Z line, so it is given in only option A. Even B is also cancelled, right? So the answer is A. Now come to the next. Which one of the following is incorrect regarding the muscular contraction? Actin and myosin make ectomyosin. No. Phosphate reserve comes from the phosphocreatine. Chemical energy is converted into mechanical energy. No, it is opposite just, that is the mechanical energy is converted into the chemical energy. So that option is also wrong. The fourth one is mechanical energy converted into the chemical energy. So the answer is the D, right? That is incorrect. Right, that is incorrect according to that condition, right? The incorrect statement about, right? So according to that, all these three options are incorrect and that one is clear. So the answer is the D, but actual what? We know that all these three statements are the correct one. Clear? See, which one of the following option shows the next stage of muscle contraction after the stage given in that question? That means after that question, when myosin head attached with that particular, right? So what will happen? The cross bridges formation occurs here and breaking of the ATP, right? Breaking of the ATP, that means use of ATP is there to and cross bridges, right? So these are the events, right? These are the events at the time of the muscular contraction and cross bridges formation in the sliding filament theory. These are the stages which is given in page number 307 and diagram number 20.4, right? So after that, when myosin head gets combined with the these effectants, right, then what will happen? The answer is the cross bridges formation. So the answer is the A, right? As we know that in sliding filament theory, at the time of contraction phase, right, what will happen? Myosin ATPase after entering of the calcium ions from sarcoplasmic reticulum terminal cisternae to the sarcoplasm, right? What will happen? Calcium is binded with the troponin, which is the regulatory protein, which is the complex protein and the combination of three regulatory protein, right? That is troponin A, B and C, clear? Or which is also known as the troponin I, clear? So what will happen after that? The myosin ATPase enzyme gets activated by the calcium ion, right, and hydrolyzed here. So ATP split here and gives the energy, right, for that ratchet movement. For that ratchet movement, what is that ratchet movement? That is the forcefully the head of myosin enters inside, enters with the and gets combined with the effectant, that is filamentous actin, right? So in that manner, the correct option is the A. Now come to the which one of the following statements are the correct regarding the muscle protein, right? Actin is thin filament which is made up of two effectants, correct, right? That is filamentous actin which are helically bounded to each other, right? The complex protein tropomyosin is distributed at the regular interval on the troponin. No, that is the complex protein troponin is distributed at the regular interval of tropomyosin, right? So that statement is wrong. Myosin is thick filament which is also a polymerized protein. It is correct. The globular head or meromyosin consists of light meromyosin. No, it consists of two chains of, right? That is heavy meromyosin and light meromyosin, right? So that statement is also wrong. So the correct answer is 1 and 3, that is given in option C, right? So to solve these kinds of questions, you have to memorize the each and every line of NCERT with much better understanding of the meaning of that lines, right? Clear? So come to the next one. The type of muscle present in our body. We know that we are having three kinds of muscles, right? See here, right? We have three kinds of muscles. This is the diagram of the muscular tissues, three types, which is given in the chapter of structural organization in animals at page number 103 at 7.1.3, right? This is the muscular tissue, three types of muscles. First one, this one is the skeletal muscle, and that skeletal muscle is also known as the striated muscle or the voluntary muscle. You can see here, these are the striations, right? These are the striations, that's why they are also called the striated muscles. Clear? These are the smooth muscles which are tapered on both ends, right? And they are involuntary in nature. They are involuntary. Clear? So that's why they are the smooth muscle cells, right? That is, we can say the involuntary muscles, they are present in the smooth muscle, that is the stomach and all the visceral organs, right? Now come to the third one. These are the specific muscles which are present only in the region of the heart, that is cardiac muscles, right? And these are also striated muscles because of presence of these striations, right? And the junctions between the small cylindrical cells, these junctions are called the intercalated disc, right? These junctions between the adjacent cells are called the intercalated disc, right? They are called the intercalated disc. Now, so the type of muscle present in our heart is involuntary, right? But they are unstriated smooth muscle. No, they are the striated, involuntary but striated and cardiac muscles, right? So wrong. Intestine is striated and involuntary. Intestine is smooth and involuntary, not striated. Thigh is striated and voluntary, exactly because thigh muscles are the skeletal muscles which are striated and voluntary in nature, right? So this option is correct. Upper arm is a smooth muscle. No, these are the skeletal muscles. Upper arm, that is the skeletal muscles, right? So that's why that option is also wrong. So the answer is C. Sometimes you have to correlate it like that, right? Now come to the next question, that is, which one of the following statement is about mechanism of muscle contraction are correct, right? So there is the muscle contraction. Now come to the muscle contraction theory, or which is known as the sliding filament theory. When we talk about the contraction phase, what will happen? Right, when muscle is in resting condition, right, what will happen? When motor nerve impulse generate at the motor end plate, right? Motor nerve impulse generate at motor and plate. Then what will happen? A neurotransmitter release, that is acetylcholine, right? That acetylcholine is released, which is a neurotransmitter and which is the best studied neurotransmitter, right? Best neurotransmitter for the study. And that acetylcholine depolarize thus acetylcholine depolarize the sarcolemma. Why there is necessary to depolarization? Because when motor and nerve impulse generate the when motor nerve impulse generate at the motor end plate, then they generate the action potential, right? Then they generate the action potential, and due to that, what will happen? Acetylcholine released and sarcolemma depolarized, so action potential can go forward, right? So they depolarize the sarcolemma, and then what will happen? That action potential reach to sarcoplasmic reticulum, right, through the T tubules. Now what will happen? In sarcoplasmic reticulum terminal cisternae, right, in sarcoplasmic reticulum terminal cisternae, some calcium ions is there, right? So from sarcoplasmic reticulum terminal cisternae, calcium ion released due to the action potential, they released into the sarcoplasm, right, into the sarcoplasm. Now what will happen? In sarcoplasm, number of inactive substances are there, right? So after reaching that calcium ion, they gets activated. So calcium ion in sarcoplasm, that calcium ion bounded with the troponin, right? They are bounded by with troponin, right? That troponin is the regulatory protein, complex protein, which is present at a regular interval of the tropomyosin, right? What will happen now? As that calcium ion bounded with the troponin, right? So in sarcoplasm, there is myosin ATPase enzyme is present, right, which are in an inactive state before the calcium ion reaches and enters into the sarcoplasm. So that myosin ATPase enzyme activate and hydrolyze, right? When they hydrolyze, that means that ATP is a splits, right, and give the energy. So what will happen? That tropomyosin shifts from actin binding site, right? Then what will happen? When it shifts from that actin binding site, the actin myosin cross bridges formation start, right? Actin myosin cross bridges formation begin, right? And due to the repeated formation, repeated formation, what will happen? Due to that repeated formation of cross bridges, right? These cross bridges, myosin had comes out that actin filament, or we can say these cross bridges break down, right? Break of cross bridge, and what will happen? Actin filament slide over myosin filament, right? And shortening of sarcomere, right? So muscle gets contract at that time, right? And same as that, when we talk about the relaxation phase, so what will happen? Cholinesterase enzyme release, which break that acetylcholine into the acetic acid and choline, right? And again, as that acetylcholine break, then what will happen? Sarcolemma repolarize, right? When sarcolemma repolarize, then what will happen? At the sarcoplasmic reticulum terminal cisternae, the calcium ion pumps is present. They gets activated and suck the all calcium ions through the suction, create the suction pressure, right, back to the sarcoplasmic reticulum, right? And as the calcium ion removed from there, then suddenly the actin and myosin cross bridge formation stops, right? And as they stop, what will happen? The passive sliding of filaments occur, right? Clear? So in that manner, so now come to the question. Choose the correct statements regarding the muscle contraction theory. Acetylcholine is released when the neural signal reaches to the motor end plate. Correct. Muscle contraction is initiated by the signal sent by the CNS via sensory neuron. Wrong. During muscle contraction, isotropic bands gets elongated. Wrong. Repeated activation of muscle can lead to lactic acid accumulation. Exactly. Now what is that? This is another type of question, or we can say a theory is created here. We know that our muscle perform both kind of respiration, that is aerobic and anaerobic, right? When we do not take the food for a long time, then there is no oxidation of foodstuffs and there is no release of energy. Then what will happen? Our muscles go for the anaerobic respiration, right? And they convert the pyruvic acid into the lactic acid through the Cori cycle, right? That cycle is performed by the myocytes or the muscle cells, right, which converts the pyruvic acid into the lactic acid, and these lactic acids are deposited in the muscle cells and gives a stony hardness, and gradually it converts into the glycogen, right? So and that will be very painful condition, that is the deposition of the lactic acid. We are not able to move our limbs at that time, right? It's very painful sometimes. So the statement 1 and 4 is correct and rest of the wrong. So the answer is the 1 and 4, right?